pages.
This is a Disney font. The Disney font, the classic Disney font with the Disney D. It seems like Disney is taking over the world. It seems. I remember when the announcement that Disney bought Marvel Comics, then Disney bought Star Wars. What's next? What's Disney gonna buy next? DC Comics? Oh boy, then all superheroes would be converged. Seems like Disney was taking over the world, but Disney's not the first company to make cartoons. That's from a guy named Max Fleischer who made, I don't know if his name was Bimbo the dog, but his most popular character was Betty Boop, and there was Popeye, there was Superman, a couple other characters I can't really think of off the top of my head right now, but I think his name was Bimbo. But like, it was really Max Fleischer who invented like rotoscoping, which is like drawing over like live action thing to like make like a simulation of animation. It was really innovative at the time, and it really took off around the 1920s and 30s. You know, poor Max Fleischer. Well, Disney took all the credit from him, and of course Disney came out on top, and he's known worldwide now. It's kind of sad actually, because you work all your life to like make this, like you invent all this stuff, and that you claimed it and you innovate, and then along comes this rival who's like, oh, I'm gonna take this from you. That's really like the competition that's going on. I hope nothing like that happens with this company, MC Benz printing press.
Well, no, there's a lot of people who do shirts, a lot of people that print, so I mean, people are already doing their own thing. But
speaking of Disney, do you happen to have a favorite Disney movie?
Who, me?
Yes.
Not really. I'm not like, the last one I actually went to see in the movie theaters was Frozen Part 1. I haven't even seen Frozen Part 2. Huh. But the first time I actually watched a Disney movie, which I hope it was Disney, was Aladdin Disney.
Yes, Disney okay. Was Aladdin.
With
was
my
Disney.
Nephew, who's now like 30-something years old, when he was a child, he was going to have a movie theater night at school, and Aladdin was playing. And I decided to take him because, you know, this way I spent some time with him and his parents didn't have to come. So they dropped us off at the school and we watched Aladdin. And that was the first time I actually saw, you know, animation, a Disney movie, a cartoon movie, because I just didn't think they would be that good. You know, I watched cartoons growing up like the Flintstones, Tom and Jerry, stuff like that. Yeah, they're cool, they're funny to watch, but as a movie, I didn't think that it would be something that I would really be into, being that, you know, I was an older kid. I think I was still a teenager, but I still wasn't an adult. I was like 18, maybe 17. I really don't remember. I would have to like calculate back to the date, but I saw that and I was like, wow, I really like that. I thought it was pretty cool, you know, just the whole storyline, how everything went, the music to it. It was really, really good. And then when I went to see Frozen, I was very impressed with the soundtrack of Frozen. I liked the songs and, you know, the whole storyline and stuff. It was really cute, you know, with Olaf, the snowman and all that. So I do have to see part 2. But like if somebody said, hey, let's go to the movies, animation would be like the first thing that I would pick. Or superhero movies, because I don't know, I just never really been into them that much. I wasn't a comic book person, so I guess depends what era you were born in and who introduced you to certain things when you were a child that you would really get into stuff. But my mom wasn't into that stuff. My mom was an older mom. I had other my co-students other students that went to school with me. They all had younger moms. I had an older mom, so she had me when she was 38. So by the time I was 10, she was 48. By the time I was 15, she was 52. So, you know, I had an older type mom, and my mom, you know, she wasn't into that stuff. My mom wasn't even into music, put it like that. So basically, as a kid, you know, I caught on to things that my brothers and my sisters would listen to. You know, rap music had came out in 79. I caught on to that, and just, you know, that's a little part of my life. But yeah, so I never really got into superheroes and stuff like that. But I mean, hey, you know, if the time comes and somebody says, hey, I really want to watch this movie, okay, let's go watch it, you know. And then for sure I'd probably come out saying, wow, that was pretty cool, you know. So yeah, that's the long story of my Disney life. But yeah. Hey.
All right, so she explained her little Disney life, well, which isn't really much of a Disney life because she wasn't really into it until she saw Aladdin. But
I was older.
Yeah. If I were to pick a Disney movie, whether from Pixar or actual like
Let
Disney.
me guess. Toy Story.
Yes. She got it.
The first one?
Yeah, the absolute
wow.
first one.
I don't know. I just had a feeling. Toy Story.
The actual funny thing is that I actually saw the Toy Story 2 first.
Oh, really?
It's the only one I really remember watching as a very, very young child, at around like 3 or 4 years old. I was only 2 when that movie came out, so I think that's one of the main reasons why. But I remember I saw the first Toy Story like after the second one. And I remember being like, toys can actually come to life. But the reason why I like Toy Story so much was because me and my sister Shyla, who is a U.S. Marine, hoorah, me and her played toys almost every single day. To be very funny, we actually had toys of the characters from Toy Story, like Woody, Jessie, Buzz Lightyear, Mr. Potato Head, Slinky Dog. I don't remember having. Right? Yeah, the cowgirl. I don't know her name. I loved Toy Story so much that I used to watch it all the time, and at one point I could recite the whole movie in my head, word for word. That's how much I watched it. Wow. So it was the first computer animated feature film, and it came out in around
Was it made by Pixar?
That's a Pixar movie.
See, I remember.
And it came out in November '95.
Oh wow.
And I remember, well, I don't remember because I wasn't born then. I was born in March '97, so that was still the first Pixar movie. But then the year after that, A Bug's Life would come out. And I remember seeing A Bug's Life a little bit later in childhood. I was probably like maybe 10 or 11.
I liked it.
But I was more into video games than I was into actual toys.
Did you hurt the cat? We're recording. Oh, I'm sorry. You can edit this out. What about the cat?
What about the cat?
Pause it.
As I was saying, my childhood.
Sorry.
That was the little cat Panda. But as I was saying, my childhood was more based on games. Like most kids remember watching TV or playing with toys, but I was mostly a video game kid, and everybody knows me as a video game kid. Nintendo was my thing, and everybody in my family was so impressed that I'm the most fluent in Mario games. As I got older, like Mario was usually the only thing I played because that's Super Mario 64 is my favorite game of all. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. We were just explaining our favorite things from life and childhood and stuff like that. Because it is the year 2020 now. Big shocker. We thought we have flying cars, we have self-lacing shoelaces, but
robots.
Self-lacing shoes, but nope. We kind of do have robots, but not really. They're like still kind of perfecting.
Like everybody owning a robot and it cleaning your house and doing all types of stuff, futuristic stuff. I thought we'd have like sidewalks, like when you go to Universal Studios and you got those flat escalator things.
Yeah, those
where
little.
You just hop on and ride.
They're like treadmills a little bit.
Yeah, they should make sidewalks like that because they could be solar powered energy, right?
Yeah.
They could be solar powered. And a lot of these old people, I think they don't do that because that way they force people to pay for the bus and pay for the subway.
Oh, yeah.
Pay for cabs to get around. Because if all somebody had to do was just take a step on the sidewalk and it would just take them to where they need to go, nobody would be spending money. So it's a conspiracy.
Mm-hmm. It is a conspiracy. Actually, I believe would make the world more fat, if that makes sense, because they're not really walking.
True, unless people, if the ones that didn't want to be fat, they don't have to get on the moving sidewalk.
So you're saying it could be an option?
Yeah, like half of the sidewalk would be like that, and the other half you could walk it if you wanted to.
True.
Because you know how some people get on the escalator and they just stand there, and you want to. You want to go quicker, so you move around them and you run up the escalator.
You run up the escalator, yeah.
So you would do that. If they were on the sidewalk, you'd be like, hell, I'm getting off this thing, I'm going around them. Or what if you need to get somewhere really fast? You do get on that thing, but you run along with it. You'd be running double time, right? What do you think?
See.
Who is it and what do you want? Get away from my life. Oh, unless it's my niece.
Oh, your wife.
Deborita Roni. ¿Qué pasó?
DJ Debs. Oh, I forgot to tell you my results from this. It's not cancerous, so I'm good.
Thank God.
Yeah, because I was kind of worried about.
It was just an infection.
Yeah, the worst infection ever.
Oh, yeah.
She was infected.
Oh, Debs, quick question for you. We talked about our favorite Disney movies. Do you happen to have a favorite?
Bambi.
Bambi?
Oh my gosh.
And,
Oh man, Bambi.
Snow White. Look at me. Frozen.
Frozen.
Yeah.
Let it go, can't hold it
What is
back
yours?
anymore. I don't know, I told
She
you
was
that
talking about like the closest thing that she ever liked was like Aladdin.
the first one that
'Cause
I
she-
saw was Aladdin. That's the first time I said, oh wow, you know, these cartoon movies are actually good. And then when I
Yeah.
saw Frozen, I was amazed by the soundtrack and
Yeah, me too.
the whole movie. And
That's why I'm
liked it.
dying to see part 2.
And the other thing we were talking about was this right here, which I told them I'm not very familiar with superheroes and DC.
She
and all
is.
that, but she is. So go ahead and test her and ask her some questions about.
What?
I won't be too. Well,
Ask her first. Who's her favorite superhero?
okay. Well, I think I already know. I already know. No, I thought it was Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah. And the second one is the Flash.
Oh, Flash. Okay. I remember I used to be a Batman fan myself when I was like a sophomore.
Wait, I remember when I was a kid. Yes, I watched Wonder Woman, but I watched the TV show Wonder Woman, which I think Linda Carter was the woman that they
It
picked.
was.
And if you watch those shows now, they look so corny. But as a kid, I loved it. And she had an invisible airplane. You'd see that.
Oh,
Peppa up there
yes,
flying.
yes.
Shh, and she wasn't nothing. She was just. Shh. Anyway, she used to.
She had the bracelets which could deflect bullets
I heard.
and the lasso of truth.
I heard that they're going to make a new movie.
don't even remember that.
Justice.
Justice League, another Justice League.
Yeah, and then they're gonna have Wonder Woman's Superman. I don't know how they're gonna have Superman because the last movie that he was in, he was supposed to be dead, but then again, he was
They hit
supposed to have the
Superman.
red sun to hit him. That's the only way
reincarnate.
how he. Yeah, but I don't think he's dead. I think because he needs the red sun to get that power on
Come
him.
back.
Yeah, because on the cartoon one, he actually came back to life. All he needed was the red sun.
Right.
So
What killed him? Kryptonite.
he had a battle with Batman.
Oh, Batman kicked.
Yeah,
his ass.
Batman had to have some sort of kryptonite. He always
Yeah.
carries kryptonite on him,
Yeah.
just in case Superman gets too powerful and he goes on a rampage.
I'm gonna feed this into my Silhouette 3 right here, guys. Sorry, but we're also doing the video. We're showing how to do
Here's
the
her
shirts,
lovely iPad.
but we're also having conversations. So that's in now, and look over here real quick. What
Plate
is
of
it?
crumbs.
Oh man, I let my screen go down. Okay, right here it says heat transfer smooth. This is heat transfer vinyl and it's smooth. So we're gonna go down here and we're gonna hit send. And we're gonna do as is because if you look over here, I already flipped it backwards. And so we're gonna hit send as is.
Because it needs to go on the shirt, so it'll be.
And now the needle will adjust itself to the proper depth to cut this thing. And this is where we, well, sing it.
I don't know that song.
There's no lyrics for the song at this time. Okay, go back to the superhero conversation.
So are you look more like, you said you were more like a DC Comics fan?
I like every superhero movie.
Okay. Me and my mom were more of like a Marvel Comics because we watched as soon as we saw Avengers, we were hooked. And so
Yeah.
after that we saw Iron Man 3. I think we saw
those two.
Age of Ultron, Captain America,
Yeah,
Winter
if you
Soldier.
ask me, she watches every superhero show. The Flash, Arrow, Black Lightning. Who else?
Batgirl, the new one that just
The
came
new
out.
Batgirl.
Also they have Teen Titans.
Teen
Not
Titans.
the one for the kids though.
Teen Titans.
For adults because I want to have.
That's Marvel too.
No, that's Teen Titans is DC.
Yeah.
What DC stand for? Dominican Contributions.
Direct Detective Comics.
Oh, really?
But I do like also the Avengers and all that. I love them. I love every superhero movie.
You've watched Batman 1, 2, 3, The Dark Knight,
All
The
of
Return,
them.
and all that stuff.
Dark Knight has to be my favorite superhero movie.
Really?
I know I said it was Civil War because of like, you know, all superheroes are fighting each other, and I love
I
that.
watched the older Spider-Man movies, but I haven't seen the home.
That was my childhood.
Yeah, I like Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire.
Except now you know
I
that
just
he
hate
does
the
Illuminati.
fact. I just hate the fact when they change the guy and
They changed him twice.
They
yeah,
always
and I
do.
don't like it.
Because they get older.
I know.
Imagine they use the same Spider-Man that they use in Spider-Man 1. He's an old man now. He can't do all
He's
the
not
stunts
really
and
an
tricks.
old man, but my mom says that she likes Tobey.
Who do you like? Toby?
My mom likes Tobey Maguire
Yeah.
because she, in her mind, she says that he looks like a person that you wouldn't expect, because if he has the glasses on, he looks
Like
more
nerdy?
like a nerd.
Yes, he
and
does.
you wouldn't expect him to be like a superhero,
Exactly.
like with muscles and stuff, having superpowers, saving the day. But with like Andrew Garfield, like he looks like someone like who's like at least like trying to hide something, or you know, whatnot. I thought he did a good job as Spider-Man. And Tom Holland is good too. Like he's like a year older.
I wonder when are they going to do a movie of the Flash? They haven't made a movie of Flash.
And they won't use the same guy from TV that you love.
No,
so
they're
much.
not. But I know who his.
And he looks like a nerdy young kid too.
Yeah, that I like him.
What is his name?
Barry Allen.
On the show, Barry, right?
Barry
Yes,
Allen.
Barry Allen.
You don't know.
So since I know Debs really likes superhero movies, I wonder if I could get her into Star Wars. Because if she has trouble like comprehending what's happening in the movie, I can explain everything.
You know what's funny? I saw the first original Star Wars in the movie theater in 1980. What?
The first movie came out in '77.
Was it really 77?
That was the first
I
Star
would've
Wars.
been 6 years old.
It was just called Star Wars. It wasn't like Episode 4 A New Hope.
I know, but is that the one that shows the words coming in the beginning, or they do that with all of them?
They do that with all of them.
Okay, well, for example, me, like, I remember my sister took me to the theater. Now, I don't know, I thought it was the first original one, but who knows if it was or if it wasn't, and maybe it could have been the second one, but I remember going to see Star Wars, and to tell you the truth, I don't remember the movie. I just know, I am your father.
That was the second one then.
Okay, then probably that one.
That was in 1980.
I
then.
need to take a bathroom break, so Easy Austin might sit and talk to you for a little bit,
I will.
but I'll be right back. After these messages, we'll be right back.
I could probably get Debs into Star Wars. Like I could just show her. I actually want to show her the original
Are you
trilogy.
into Star Trek?
Not as much. Not as much. Even though Star Trek came from. But anyways, I could probably get Debs into Star Wars, the original trilogy. I'll probably show her the prequel trilogy if she really wants to know about Anakin Skywalker's backstory or Darth Vader's backstory. I don't know why I put that in quotes because they're the same person. Although Anakin Skywalker has been long gone. Yeah, I could get her into the movies. If she ever had any question about like, hey, why did this happen, or who's that guy, or who's this guy, or what's happening, I can explain everything about those movies. The original trilogy, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Like MC Benz said, she saw Empire Strikes Back. She did not see A New Hope. She only remembers I Am Your Father because that's one of the most recognizable lines in the movie, and it is probably the biggest plot twist in all of cinema history. Those movies are like so impressionable on us because we probably all saw them at a really young age, and it just like captivated us like as young children. I think MC Benz was around 9 years old when she first saw, or maybe 8. She was either 8 or 9 years old when she first saw Empire Strikes Back. She only remembers I Am Your Father. But I can explain everything. What I should have done, you know what I should have done? I have this whole collection of like all 6 Star Wars movies. Well, it's 9 now because Rise of Skywalker came out, Last Jedi came out, and Force Awakens came out. They're the sequel trilogy. I'm not really interested in those because to me it's really only the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, which explains Anakin Skywalker's backstory about how he was a Jedi and how the Clone Wars happened and how he was this young boy that that they found him, and he's the chosen one. His midichlorians were he had the highest midichlorian count, which measures force abilities. Actually, Revenge of the Sith would probably be... I would show her that one first, which is Darth Vader's backstory. And then we could get into A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. The reason I got into it was because I was playing Lego Star Wars, and those follow the movies like perfectly. Like, there's all recognizable scenes. Like, for instance, when you play Episode 4, A New Hope, you recognize the first scene where Darth Vader invades that ship, the rebel ship, and he takes Princess Leia and takes her to the Death Star. And then, you know, C-3PO and R2-D2 go to Tatooine, the desert planet where they find Luke Skywalker. All these recognizable scenes where Luke first meets Han Solo and Chewbacca, and they go to the Millennium Falcon, and then they go to the Death Star, and then they try to blow up the Death Star, and then other recognizable scenes from Empire Strikes Back, like the Hoth battle in the snow with the walkers, the scene where Luke confronts Darth Vader for the first time, and Darth Vader says those famous lines, "I am your father," and that was a good complete plot twist. And then Return of the Jedi, we got the scene with Jabba the Hutt, and the scenes from Endor with the little Ewoks, and the final confrontation between Luke, Darth Vader, and the Emperor, who was Emperor Palpatine. You see, I know I'm like listing off all these things I know in my head that if they were to, you know what? I think I should ask MC Benz, like, oh, ask me any question about Star Wars and I'll probably answer them all. I can definitely do that. Like, there's so many things that other people don't really know about it that I can just go off the top of my head and just say out loud. So if only I bought the movies with me. Maybe some other time. Lego Star Wars was what got me into actual Star Wars, because they just follow the movies really well. I should have bought the game with me then me and her could play it, then she could understand the movie better. If you're actually like immersed into the gameplay, then maybe you could understand the story better. Like, it's all broken up into 6 chapters, but it's all integrated. I should have brought the game with me. MC Benz is taking a little piss break or a poop break. I don't really know when she'll be back, but she'll be here finishing the job soon. So comment down below, guys, if you are a Star Wars fan. Comment your favorite Star Wars movie or your favorite Star Wars character. Mine is obviously Luke Skywalker, because I see a lot of myself in him, where he's this boy who is like a farmer, and I'm not a farmer, but like he's a farm boy, and he's just stuck at home. He's like working for his dad, and he just wants to go out and explore the galaxy and have like fun adventures and stuff. And then the stormtroopers invade his home, and they kill Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, who are not his actual parents, they're his aunt and uncle. They kill him, and then Ben Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi, was with him, and Luke was just like, I'm gonna come with you to Alderaan. There's nothing here for me now. I want to learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi like my father. They had to find somebody to fly them to Alderaan. But, plot twist, Alderaan got destroyed by the Death Star. So now, this scene where like the Millennium Falcon is going into the Death Star, it just goes in there and they have to like disguise themselves as stormtroopers to try to save Princess Leia. Oh my god, I'm like explaining all this. You see, this is what happens when I talk about Star Wars. Like, I just go really into it. Like, I talk about one thing, and then I end up talking about the entire thing. I just get into it. I really, really get into it. I could just possibly explain the entire plot. That's just me. I'm really crazy when it comes to that stuff. I am such a nerd, man. I'm a nerd when it comes to that kind of stuff. I know the names of the planets, names of the characters, names of the aliens, names of the monsters, like all the plot differences. There's just so many things. I think I can explain it in easy to understand strokes, because I kind of want to have a movie night where we can all just watch the original trilogy. Maybe that'll be fun someday down the line. Now we wait for MC Benz, and she could walk through the door right now. right now. She could walk through the door right now. Any moment now. Any moment now. Meow meow. Meow meow. Meow meow. If you guys take a look at this, this was the first Star Wars poster. This was the it was just called Star Wars. There was no Episode 4 A New Hope. Even though in later in life it was called that. I think it was like 1980 when Empire Strikes Back came out. That's when they added an Episode 5. I'm like, wait, Episode 5? So then that must mean the original Star Wars movie was Episode 4, which is A New Hope. And A New Hope being Luke Skywalker. And there you see all the recognizable cast. Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, the Wookiee, Obi-Wan Kenobi, C-3PO, R2-D2, the X-Wings, the TIE Fighters, and then Darth Vader at the very top. There's so many shirts of these. Like, the amount of times I've seen people wear a shirt of this poster right here is unbelievable. Like, I just see it like all the time. Like, that's probably the most popular thing. There's like lots of fan art for this. Like, I should make my own fan fiction of Star Wars one day. Maybe I'll get back to it. This is the famous scene. Well, there's Rey, but there's the famous scene where Luke first holds a lightsaber. It was his father's lightsaber, Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber. It's the weapon of a Jedi Knight. Not as clumsy or as random as a blaster, for a more civilized age. For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the protectors of peace and justice throughout the galaxy. Before the dark times, before the Empire. And he just explains what Darth Vader's all about. Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force. The Force is what gives a Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us, it penetrates us, it binds the galaxy together. Man, I could just quote them all day long. I could just quote every single line from that movie. Almost every single line. I'm a nerd when it comes to Star Wars. Like, oh my god, I never seen this one before. Is this real? Or this has to be a painting? Yeah, this is campaign art done by somebody, but this could actually be like a poster that for someone. There's Luke, there's Leia, there's Vader. I don't know, I might actually like Darth Vader more because lately I've been so interested in his like story arc, specifically when he's Vader in the suit. I will always root for the good guy. I will always be on the side of the good guys. In any movie, like if there's good guys, then I'm on their side. Like I will always be for the good guys' side. But I just cannot deny the fact that Stormtrooper armor and the way the Stormtrooper costume and uniform looks, it's so good. Like it's so good. Look, like I know it's kind of like simple, but how can you not like that? Like the uniform just looks like. It just looks like an astronaut, but it's a stormtrooper. I'm just looking up art at this point. This one looks pretty good. There's Obi-Wan Kenobi, Vader, Leia, Han, and Luke with the lightsaber. Even though he actually never uses the lightsaber in the movie. They always show him depicting like, oh, I have the saber, I have the lightsaber, but he never used it in The New Hope. He got it. He got it for, well, I mean, he was training with it. He was training with it. I will give him that. He was training with the lightsaber. Because when Obi-Wan was with him, he told him to cover his eyes and then like use the Force to deflect the laser blasts. But that was the only time he was using it. Like he never like fought the bad guys with the saber. Hello?